What's up, y'all? We have a different kind of video today. Not really going to be doing a pack opening today. I'll definitely still be doing pack openings on the channel, but today I just kind of want to discuss a topic that it's been on my mind, and I just kind of want to share my thoughts on it and kind of get y'all's opinions. So we're just going to be talking today about Crown Zenith. I really enjoy the set. I think it is a beautiful set. And I wonder, I've started to wonder, is it too beautiful? Are there too many cards in this set that are sought after, and what kind of effect will that have on the Pokemon market? When I'm thinking about Crown Zenith, I think overall the set is really fun to open, and I think sealed product therefore of the set will be really coveted. However, there are so many cards to look for in this set that I wonder if just like that large amount of potential chase cards will then not only detract from the individual value of all of those cards in this set, but will kind of have a negative effect on prior sets and those cards and the value of those cards. And so when I'm talking about this, I don't necessarily mean Crown Zenith as a whole, and not even Crown Zenith, the Galarian Gallery as a whole, but really I'm talking about if we go from GG35 to the end, it's these cards that I worry about. They're beautiful cards. Like this Leafeon V-Star, I would argue is on par, if not slightly better than the Leafeon V alternate art from Evolving Skies. However, that is one of, let's count. So that's 35. It goes up to 70. So that's one of 35 cards of that level of art caliber, of like what I would consider to be an alternate art caliber card in this set. And so you can already kind of see it in the prices. The Leafeon is doing pretty well. We're sitting at about $38 on this card, which is, that's pretty good in terms of value. It sits lower than the alternate art from Evolving Skies, but it's definitely got some value. But then you get into like these legendary dogs. You imagine like one set coming out and having the 3 legendary dogs. What would the price of those cards be? You're almost definitely they're going to be over $100 each. That's my feeling. Maybe they're not quite there. Maybe they're $70 or $80. But because it's part of this massive set, you're talking like $23, $24 a card. And that's great for collectors. I definitely think that like having a lower price point for these beautiful arts is a good thing. But I think it's something to keep in mind when you're speculating on things from other sets that are alternate arts, right? So like I think these are undeniably going to be lower. I think these prices are even going to go down as more and more gets printed. And that's cool because you can actually collect the cards. But then when you're thinking about going back and looking at different sets, right? So if you look at, let's go to browse sets, go down to everybody's favorite, which I just skipped over, Evolving Skies. So we're looking at Evolving Skies. We're really only looking at 4 or 5 cards that have that level of art, like the Leafeon V here. We were looking at the Leafeon V earlier. This card goes for about $57. That's been about, where it's been at. But I think, let's say you're just a buyer who likes Leafeon and you want a really cool card. You're going to buy the cheaper one, right? And so if there are less sales of this more expensive, more rare Leafeon V card, you could start to see maybe the prices on these cards drop off a little bit. And the biggest offender would probably be the Umbreon VMAX. There's no Umbreon equivalent in Crown Zenith. However, I just wonder about the total effect on alternate arts by having these sets moving forward. It looks like Scarlet and Violet will be doing something similar, where as these sets come out, you're going to get more and more of these beautiful arts per set. So looking back at these sets that had fewer of them, I think that's going to have an effect on the value. And I don't know which way it's going to go. It could be that because they are more scarce, their value actually gets a little bit of a bump because they were the first to have art of this quality and they're more scarce. Or it could go the opposite direction where because there are so many available, these early ones, even though they were printed less, just kind of get lumped into that group of alternate art cards, this era of Pokemon, if you will, and then the value kind of takes a hit. And so this is less like a strong opinion one way or the other, and more of just like a curiosity. I think in the short term, it will have a negative effect on the value of these cards. I think people will start to lump them together. You know, I would imagine the Umbreon VMAX, that's probably an exception to the rule because it's such a famous card. But when you're talking about something like a Duraludon VMAX alternate art or a Noivern V alternate art, you know, if there are really, really cool cards of, you know, equally popular Pokemon available for $15, why are you going to spend, $30 to $40 on the Noivern V? You know, maybe you do if you really, really like Noivern, but a lot of people just collect Pokemon cards and they just think, oh, that's a really cool art, but that's out of my price range. Look at these other arts that are more in my price range. And then if these cards aren't selling, then, you know, there may be some pressure from sellers to lower prices. I think long term, they may be seen as some of the first, and because they are scarce, have an uptick in value and an uptick in price. So that's kind of my thoughts. I hope I articulated that at least somewhat well. You know, when I think about scarcity, I really think about both the rarity of the card and how much the card is desired. I think the rarity will still be there. However, I wonder if because of the relative the supply of these beautiful cards being much higher with them, but there just being more per set and them being easier to pull per set, you know, I do think that will have a negative effect on the concept of scarcity with these alternate art cards. I hope that made sense, and I will see you guys in the next video.